Hello and welcome to Quiz Time. I'm your host, Ellen, and today we have 100 questions on general knowledge. We will look at history, sports, geography, music, art, and much, much more. Make sure you are keeping score so you can tell us how well you did at the end. Let's begin. Which writer did boxing throughout his life? James Joyce, Franz Kafka, or Ernest Hemingway? Ernest Hemingway. What did usual medieval castles smell like? Smoke and sewage, roses and wine, or oiled leather? Smoke and sewage. Which Renaissance artist dissected corpses to study anatomy? Donatello, Leonardo da Vinci, or Botticelli? Leonardo da Vinci. What's the name of Harry Potter's father? James, John, or Henry? James. What was the first drink to be consumed in space? Coffee, orange juice, or Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola. Which European country eats the most chocolate per person? Switzerland, France, or Austria? Switzerland. In which country is the Dar es Salaam port located? Tanzania, Egypt, or Oman? Tanzania. Which actor played Legolas in The Lord of the Rings? Sean Bean, Viggo Mortensen, or Orlando Bloom? Orlando Bloom. Which philosopher wrote his works in the form of dialogues? Plato, Hume, or Russell? Plato. What does the E stand for in email? Encrypted, electronic, or express? Electronic. Who was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic? Harriet Quimby, Beryl Markham, or Amelia Earhart? Amelia Earhart. Which composer wrote music for Napoleon before deleting the dedication? Mozart, Wagner, or Beethoven? Beethoven. Which modernist novel begins with the line, stately, plump, Buck Mulligan? Ulysses, Finnegan's Wake, or Waves? Ulysses. Which British Prime Minister, signed the Good Friday Agreement? Tony Blair, John Major, or Gordon Brown? Tony Blair. Who was the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt? Ramses, Nefertiti, or Cleopatra? Cleopatra. What does the Heisenberg uncertainty principle concern? Position and momentum, mass and charge, or energy and spin? Position and momentum. The Peace of Westphalia the Peace Treaty of Westphalia ended which war? The 7 Years' War, the 100 Years' War, or the 30 Years' War? The 30 Years' War. Sharp Dressed Man is a song performed by The Who, ZZ Top, or U2? ZZ Top. In musical notation, what does adagio mean? Slowly, loudly, or feeling? Slowly. And we are at question 20. Which country hosted the 2006 FIFA World Cup? South Africa, Germany, or South Korea? Germany. What particle was discovered by James Chadwick in 1932? Neutron, proton, or electron? Neutron. Which dystopian novel introduced doublethink and thought crime? Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451, or 1984? (1984). Who led the Soviet Union during the Cuban Missile Crisis? Nikita Khrushchev, Leonid Brezhnev, or Joseph Stalin? Nikita Khrushchev. Where is Mount Erebus located? Is it in Iceland, Chile, or Antarctica? Antarctica. Which of these politicians won the Nobel Prize in Literature? Winston Churchill, Jimmy Carter, or Nelson Mandela? Winston Churchill. What term describes animals that maintain a constant body temperature? Isothermic, endothermic, or ectothermic? Endothermic. Which composer wrote the opera Don Giovanni? Verdi, Wagner, or Mozart? Mozart. Which poet wrote The Wasteland? W.B. Yeats, T.S. Eliot, or Ezra Pound? T.S. Eliot. What is the largest lake in South America? Lake Titicaca, Lake Maracaibo, or Lake Puopo? Lake Titicaca. And we have already reached question 30. Francisco Goya was a Spanish what? Was he a poet, architect, or painter? He was a painter. In which city is Park Güell located? Paris, Barcelona, or Madrid? Barcelona. Which empire was ruled by Suleiman the Magnificent? The Ottoman, the Byzantine, or the Persian? The Ottoman Empire. What type of celestial object is the Crab Nebula? Galaxy, quasar, or supernova remnant? Supernova remnant. What was Elvis Presley's natural hair color? Black, brown, or blonde? Blonde. In which country is it forbidden to name a child Nutella? Italy, France, or Germany? France. What was Walt Disney afraid of? Mice, heights, or flying? Mice. What was the original title of Back to the Future? Marty and the Machine, The Time Car, or Spaceman from Pluto? Spaceman from Pluto. What does the ZIP in zip code stand for? Zonal Information Program, Zero Input Process, or Zone Improvement Plan? Zone Improvement Plan. What was the first YouTube video to reach 1 billion views? Gangnam Style, Baby Shark, or Highway to Hell? Gangnam Style. And question 40. What unusual pet did Salvador Dali often walk on a leash? A chimpanzee, an anteater, or a peacock? An anteater. What common household item did NASA invent? Memory foam, duct tape, or superglue? Memory foam. Which country builds a hotel made entirely of ice each winter? Sweden, Canada, or Finland? Sweden. What's the dot over the letter I called? A doodle, a nibble, or a tittle? A tittle. What was the first ever item sold on eBay? A Beanie Baby, a comic book, or a broken laser pointer? A broken laser pointer. What animal can't vomit? A horse, a cat, or a dog? A horse. Which country invented bubble wrap? France, the United States, or Japan? The United States. IKEA comes from France, Sweden, or Norway? Sweden. Who plays the lead female role in Pretty Woman? Winona Ryder, Julia Roberts, or Jennifer Connelly? Julia Roberts. Which U.S. city once had a goat mayor? Boise, Idaho, Lajitas, Texas, or Topeka, Kansas? Lajitas, Texas. And we have reached 50, halfway through. What famous magician died on Halloween? David Copperfield, Chris Angel, or Harry Houdini? And it is Harry Houdini. Which plant has more genes than humans? Tomato, grape, or banana? Tomato. What was the first video game played in space? Pong, Super Mario, or Tetris? Tetris. What is the largest ethnic group in China? Hui, Manchu, or Han? Han. What is the largest Greek island? Crete, Mykonos, or Eos? Crete. Which ancient philosopher was sentenced to drink hemlock? Plato, Socrates, or Aristotle? Socrates. Who painted The Night Watch? Rubens, Michelangelo, or Rembrandt? Rembrandt. What language is the basis of the word alchemy? Greek, Arabic, or Latin? Arabic. Which mathematician introduced the concept of zero to Europe? Fibonacci, Archimedes, or Descartes? Fibonacci. Which Greek island was home to the Oracle of Delphi? Eos, Crete, or none? It was on the mainland. None. It was on the mainland. We are at question 60. You can tell us in the comments how you're doing so far. Who wrote the treatise on human nature? John Locke, Thomas Hobbes, or David Hume? David Hume. What is the oldest known written story in history? The Book of the Dead, the Iliad, or the Epic of Gilgamesh? The Epic of Gilgamesh. What structure was built under Emperor Vespasian? The Pantheon, the Colosseum, or Hadrian's Wall? The Colosseum. What is the capital city of Georgia? Yerevan, Tbilisi, or Baku? Tbilisi. What philosopher wrote The Republic? Plato, Aristotle, or Epicurus? Plato. ZZ Top is a rock group from Texas, New York, or California? Texas. Who wrote the Divine Comedy? Petrarch, Dante, or Boccaccio? And the answer is Dante. Which medieval philosopher wrote Summa Theologica? Thomas Aquinas, Augustine of Hippo, or William of Ockham? Thomas Aquinas. Warren Buffett is a famous what? Is he an inventor, investor, or politician? Investor. The age of Pericles refers to which ancient city-state? Sparta, Athens, or Corinth? Athens. Which country has the city of Novi Sad? Serbia, the Czech Republic, or Poland? Serbia. The word Renaissance literally means what? Revolution, rebirth, or renewal? Rebirth. Who directed the film High Heels? Almodovar, Scorsese, or Tarantino? Almodovar. What is the longest Asian river? Lena, Yangtze, or Mekong? The Yangtze. What architectural style features pointed arches and flying buttresses? Gothic, Baroque, or Romanesque? Gothic. What empire built the Hagia Sophia? The Ottoman Empire, Roman Empire, or Byzantine Empire? The Byzantine Empire. The main ingredient of green curry is green chilies, cucumber, or eggplant. Green chilies. Which organ is affected by hypertension? Liver, kidney, or heart? Heart. Succession is an HBO horror, comedy drama, or documentary. Comedy drama. Who starred in the film Ocean's 11? Kevin Spacey, Jack Nicholson, or George Clooney? George Clooney. Question 80. Stay with me. What civilization invented paper? Chinese, Egyptian, or Persian? Chinese. The philosopher Epicurus taught that the highest good is what? Knowledge, pleasure, or duty? Pleasure. Who performs the song Rebel Yell? AC/DC, Billy Idol, or Metallica? Billy Idol. Which scientist discovered radium and polonium? Marie Curie, Lise Meitner, or Rosalind Franklin? Marie Curie. Who was the first British Prime Minister? Neville Chamberlain, Robert Walpole, or Clement Attlee? Robert Walpole. What do astronauts say space smells like? Burnt steak, fresh air, or old books? Burnt steak. Pleskavica is a national dish of Hungary, Romania, or Serbia? Serbia. What animal sleeps with one eye open? Dolphin, owl, or cat? The dolphin. Which author wrote Hunger? Samuel Beckett, Knut Hamsun, or James Joyce? Knut Hamsun. Benicio del Toro is a boxer, singer, or actor? Actor. Question 90. What was the original purpose of bubble wrap? Wallpaper, packaging, or shoe lining? Wallpaper. What's the national sport of Bhutan? Wrestling, cricket, or archery? Archery. Which animal can't stick out its tongue? Crocodile, tortoise, or pig? The crocodile. Who directed Django Unchained? Kubrick, Tarantino, or Nolan? Tarantino. Which city has more pigeons than people? Lisbon, Venice, or Paris? Venice. What is Barbie's full name? Barbie June Carson, Barbara Ann Taylor, or Barbara Millicent Roberts? Barbara Millicent Roberts. What country celebrates a festival where people literally jump over babies? Spain, Portugal, or Italy? Spain. Novak Djokovic won his 101st tournament in Rome, Athens, or London? Athens. What did the inventor of the Frisbee become after he died? A Frisbee, a sculpture, or a diamond? A Frisbee. Which U.S. president's teeth were partly made of hippo ivory? James Madison, John Adams, or George Washington? George Washington. What is a group of flamingos called? A bloom, a flamboyance, or a sparkle? A flamboyance. Question 100. What animal was once put on trial for eating holy bread in France? A goat, a dog, or a pig? And that was a pig. Thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. And also don't forget to share your score in the comments. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.